I don't think anybody has ever seen anything like what happened the other night at Madison Square Garden. The love in that room. It was breathtaking, and you could have filled it many, many times with the people that were unable to get in. But politicians that have been doing this for a long time, 30 and 40 years, said there's never been an event so beautiful. It was like a love fest, an absolute love fest, and it was my honor to be involved. And
will the Madison Square Garden debacle for Donald Trump be the last nail in his coffin as it relates to the electorate, and particularly the Latin, Black, and Brown voting community? I say it will. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Take a moment, early vote, hit the subscribe button. And I'm at the intersection taking a look at the fallout related to the condemnation of Donald Trump and his campaign by everyone, led by the Latin community, the Puerto Rican community, against Donald Trump. Is this what he needed in the last 7 days of his campaign? Even when J.D. Vance, his vice presidential candidate, was asked in a very sober way by a young voter at a town hall, he took questions. Yes. Do you think in the last remaining days of the campaign, the jokes that were told about women and about Hispanics and Puerto Ricans, calling them garbage, do you think that's the right tone to set for the remaining days, or was that a mistake? And he totally ignored the question. J.D. Vance just said, oh, we got 7 more days, and I think people need a sense of humor, like our frontiersmen that settled this country. Next question. So far, everybody has come out against Donald Trump that matters. Starting with the Archbishop of Puerto Rico, which people forget votes. The Archbishop of Puerto Rico, the mayor of San Juan, the governor structure for Puerto Rico, the number one major newspaper for the Puerto Rican and Latin community, just endorsed Kamala Harris. Every entertainer and musician and celebrity of Puerto Rican descent, from J-Lo to Bad Bunny to Ricky Martin and their 150 million followers, are all coming out to circle the wagons around, speaking of frontier people, circle the wagons around Kamala Harris and endorse her. You know, the Washington Post, owned by a billionaire, and the LA Times, owned by a billionaire, might be scared to make an endorsement of a candidate for the first time in modern history because they're worried about a Donald Trump presidency and retaliation and retribution. But the leading Puerto Rican newspaper is not afraid of it, nor are all thinking people. And it's not just the Puerto Rican and Latin community which are coming out and condemning in the strongest possible terms Donald Trump. Condemnations are one thing, voting is another. Or as Barack Obama says, our spiritual leader for the Democratic Party, don't boo, vote. There is a way to signal to Donald Trump and MAGA that we're not going to take it any longer. We're not going to be abused. We're not going to be the garbage can for MAGA. I rode through my community recently, which is going to go blue. New Jersey's safely in Kamala Harris's column. You wouldn't know it from some of the flags and pickup trucks I saw driving around my town during early voting. I saw a sign that said, "Take America back." Take America back from who? From other Americans? From people that you're scared of because they happen to be black or brown or just recently emigrated to this country? Or got asylum and then green card and then citizenship? Those are the people you're afraid of? Or are you talking about taking the Wayback Machine, like Mr. Peabody, and taking us back to some fake, phony golden era that never really existed for most of America? The reality is, and this is something that Donald Trump has not recognized, is there's not enough white people to get Donald Trump elected. There are less, as a percentage of the voting population, less white people than in 2016. The Latin community has increased in its voting presence by over 20% since 2000, 40% since 2000, 20% since 2016. So do you think insulting the Hispanic community is a good thing? And everything for Donald Trump's a love fest now. This is his new word, his new weird, it's like a mental spasm, a brain spasm. And out shoots the word love fest. Jan6, the attempt to torch and set fire to our democracy, was a love fest. Madison Square Garden which is properly being compared to the 1939 rally led by the German-American Bund, the pro-Nazi rally with swastikas, being compared to that. Sorry, he says it's a love fest. What part of the vitriol, the racism, the misogyny, the anti-Semitism, the anti-Latin comments, the bigotry, which part of that was the love fest? I know some people have said, Popok sometimes gets angry on his Illegal AF, the YouTube channel. Yeah, look at the clock. It is late. It's late. And I've got to be impassioned about this so that you can be. I mean, I could sit here and do Fresh Air on NPR today at a Madison Square Garden event that some are comparing to Nazi rallies of the past. You want that? There's plenty of that on YouTube. There's plenty. If I may not be your cup of tea, that's okay. I'm here doing what I need to do in my way to express myself, and I hope to motivate, animate, and vibrate people to go do the right thing. And that's what we're talking about here. So there's a reason the Archbishop of the island of Puerto Rico has come out against Donald Trump, the leading newspaper against Donald Trump, all the major superstars in entertainment that are Puerto Rican descent, right, are all rallying around Kamala Harris. As we know, the Hispanic community is increasingly more important and more powerful in voting than ever before. I said about 8 years ago that based on demographics and population increases, right, in the next 20 years or less, 1/4 of America will be black or brown. That does not bode well for the Republican Party. Yeah? And MAGA. This may be their last stand. If they can squeak out enough overvoting, if you will, by the white population to overcome everybody else in America. I can't put what is on the ballot in starker terms than this. Our rule of law, our democracy, our constitutional republic, our freedom system, our values, who we want to hold the torch of freedom around the world as the leader of the free world. And it matters. It matters to other democracies and other places where we're trying to use a bellows to flame the embers of democracy around the world, not hate. We're not going to make any new democracies in the world with Donald Trump in charge. He's going to draw a line down this country with 23 states on one side that, you'd think we're back in the Civil War times. There's only one candidate that respects the rule of law and in one party, our constitutional republic and our values as Americans, and could hope to unite us. And that's Kamala Harris. Yeah? Do you see rallies where Kamala Harris is calling MAGA the other, or they're calling them Nazis, or calling them whatever? They're welcome in the tent of American democracy as led by Kamala Harris. That's why she went to Texas. That's why Kamala Harris went into the belly of the beast with Bret Baier on Fox News. That's why she goes on podcasts to reach out to certain people. She hasn't given up on the bro vote, right? Which is what Donald Trump is just constantly leaning into. And the bro vote is not enough in America to win. It's too narrow of a constituency. I don't care how many rallies you have, as you circle the drain your campaign does. Voting matters. Voting has already happened. 40% of the vote is already in North Carolina, in Georgia, and other places. If you're in Pennsylvania, I cannot stress enough the need for Kamala Harris to win Pennsylvania. No Democrat can win the presidency without Pennsylvania. See Hillary Clinton. See Barack Obama. See Joe Biden. You got to win Pennsylvania. Right? And then the other states, of course, have to fall into place as well. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, the presidency is Kamala Harris's. Sure, I'd love her to pick up Georgia. Sure, I'd love North Carolina, Arizona. Why not? Nevada. I'd love them all. And if she runs the table in all the places where it's a toss-up, and she's under polling, which I believe she is, it's not going to be a close squeaker of an election. Doesn't mean you shouldn't vote. It's going to be a blowout too big to steal. too big to delay the inevitable and crush MAGA. That is what's at stake. Women's rights are on the ballot. The Supreme Court is on the ballot. You like the way the Supreme Court is now? It'll be locked in that way for 20 more years if Donald Trump gets back into office and gets 2 more seats. You want a balanced court? Kamala Harris. It'll be 5-4 the other way over time, which is what we need to reverse the damage of this current Supreme Court. So I'm going to continue to follow it right here on Legal AF and on this new YouTube channel. I appreciate you being here. This is the new channel. We need your help to build it. Free subscribe. We're trying to build something lasting and durable, right, in the wake of this election that survives the other side of the election. And that's Legal AF in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.